Hello, Bill Molyneux here for Bill's Wargame World, and it's the 29th. It's the 29th of March. You know what that means? It means it's General Montcalm's birthday. The greatest general of all time. Now, if George Bray was to watch this video, he would be freaking out. General Montcalm was the French general for the French forces during the French Indian War. He had many great victories, and yes, he did lose at the Plains of Abraham, but he sure kicked butt with minimal forces. He wasn't really big on the natives. So, I'm still a bachelor. We're doing another Babylon video. Goober the Traveling Bear is going to be helping out at the Hawks Cold Barrage this weekend. And don't forget, coming up later in March, we have the ScrumCon convention, but I believe I'll be in Gloucester, Virginia that week. All right, let's talk about a couple quick things. Carriage guns. All right, my naval guns for Fort William Henry, I said they should be red. That was according to a historian that I think is incredible, Stuart Lilly at Fort Ty. And then someone else said Battleship Gray, and then Powder Puff Blue. I was amazed at the messages over the color of my carriage guns. And who knows, I'm not even sure if I'm going to have time to paint the darn things. So, we have one last thing to do on these walls. I did coat them in the black wash, so you'll notice that they now match the rest of the walls. And we're going to go ahead and flock them. So, let me get the cannons out of the way. Oh! Another thing is, I printed off some shields, and I can cut these out and glue them to the shields for the Viking ship. Alright. Let's get to work. Alright. I'm going to pause the camera here. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I have some new wireless mics. Believe it or not, I had some issues with them picking up sounds from cell phones. So, I don't know how that was possible. But we are going to go ahead and flock this, both these pieces. So, of course, I've gone over flocking many times. We have our Elmer's glue, water, green paint mix, and there it is. And of course, I have misplaced my gloves once again, so we'll pause the camera while I look for them. All right, everyone, and I can't say how happy I am that people watch my channel. I had someone the other day actually post that it's their favorite wargaming channel. And my gosh, there are so many incredible wargaming channels. It's amazing how many there are in the hobby. And there are people that like my channel. And I don't do hardly anything in the no edits really. There was a time I used to edit a bit more, or even put in, if you remember, I used to do a lot more on the, I would write different things within the videos, and I even have pretty much stopped doing that for the most part, unless it's a history video on the other channel, and I'm trying to make sure I'm giving credit to the correct museum or historian that may be talking. So I'm just very fortunate that I have people watching. And gosh, Scotland. I have a batch of Scotland fans, and I don't know why, but I'm just appreciative of them, of how kind they are, and So it's just really nice to have people that are kind and will post comments. So this is the last two sections of this wall. Now I'm placing it in this tub. And the reason I'm doing that is because we're doing that. Oh my goodness gracious. But I have to be able to get our flocking material all over this. And so George Bray is a famous reenactor, historian, very famous in the French Indian War community, and he follows me on Facebook, and of course I've been joking with him about him taking command of Fort William Henry, but he has to have his smallpox vaccine done before I let him in my fort. So that's that piece. Well, so at the Hawks Convention this weekend, it's a one-day event, a lot of great games, and Having to Grace, Maryland by Aberdeen Proving Grounds, and Eric and Duncan. But I'm going to ask everyone out there, we have Chris Palmer. He runs all the Awesome Oz games, and he has some health issues, and he's in the hospital. And from what I'm hearing, he's in intensive care, and they're asking if not to contact his wife or anything, and just positive thoughts, prayers, whatever you may think of for Chris Palmer. He's a great war gamer. I've talked about him a lot recently because he gave me a lot of his 54 millimeter stuff. So I'm sort of surprised that he's gotten sick, and I won't say more than he just could use some positive vibes. How's that? And so that's that with Chris. So the Wars of Oz game at the Hawks this weekend, I think, is going to be run by a couple other Hawks. Greg, I think, is one of them. So we'll have Chris in our thoughts at the event, and hopefully he will be out of the hospital soon. So, and one of the interesting things on Wargamers is the friendships that get developed, and it's interesting how you may only see a person at the conventions, and yet you develop a good friendship with them. And I'll say Matt Ruku, he lives in Seattle, Washington. He used to be in Pittsburgh, and we've been great wargaming friends. He used to actually come to my house prior to each convention, the Thursday before, and we still get hotel rooms together for the conventions, and it's been 20 years. All right, I'm going to refocus my camera, so got to pause it here. All right, Rifleman Harris, Jason Skelke, will be at Historicon, and I actually chit-chat with him on Facebook from time to time. I have a few of his photos. Will Emerson at Fort Niagara. Old Fort Niagara is a big fan of Rifleman Harris. And I've been very lucky to have one of the Historicons where he was set up. I was also set up selling my $2 games, and Schultz Games table was next to his. So him and I chit-chatted a lot for an entire weekend, and that was, I don't know, I don't think there's dates on these pictures, but it was probably 15 years ago. So we have that to look forward to, or Jason will be. And he was in, I've listened to him in his lectures, and I don't know, you may not know this, but he's been in a lot of different movies, including Fifth Element. So, which is really a cool movie. Now, The Player's Aid, which is a board gaming blog and YouTube channel, they recently ran an entire story about game reviews and different things. I'm not going to go into that, but it has turned into really an interesting topic within our community of both board games and miniature wargaming for rule books and games themselves. So we are going to avoid that drama. I talk about stuff once in a while, but in my basement, we're always try to be as positive as possible. Our next project will be to paint oars and spray paint oars, and I'm going to paint these carriages. What color, we have no idea. I haven't told anyone yet. Alright, so I got to get all the oars together, cut out the paper and glue that to the shields. And we also have some oars that were made for the little Viking ship. Now, I'm going to start packing up for the Hawks Barrage game. I hope to run several videos of Barrage, so stay tuned for those. And my itinerary for the month of March, I might as well go ahead and just rattle that off. We have the Hawks this weekend. Next weekend, I believe I'm at Fort Frederick. Like the 9th weekend, the 14th through the 17th. Boy, jam-packed. Gloucester Museum of History, where we actually deliver their check for YouTube viewing. And don't forget, when you watch this channel, every month I'm just taking that money and donating it to a history site. So that is on the 15th. On the 16th, I'll be at Jamestown. On the 17th, we have a very special museum event planned for my history channel, not the wargaming channel, and I beg people to please subscribe to the history channel too. Bill's History World with Gooba the Bear. And that history channel will have Historian Nell talking about Vietnam weapons as one video, Korean War weapons for another video, and then we may get him to do a small talk on the Gatling gun that's in the museum. So, you know, that's pretty much what I'm just jam-packed for March. And I really don't know what else to say, but I'm really hoping that people that watch this channel, which is monetized, realize that the next couple months, all the money I'm going to be donating to the Weiss Fork battlefield, where they're trying to put a giant highway and cloverleaf right in the center of the battlefield. So we're going to raise whatever I raise. If it's a $50 or $100 or a couple hundred, it'll be better than nothing. And soon I'll be doing a video of our Goober mugs, hats, Goober shirts, and hoodies. We do not have hats yet. And those also, some of the proceeds from those will be going to the Weiss Fork battlefield too. All right. Well, Sheriff John, I wish you were here because you could help me clean up some of this mess on my workbench. For everyone that's going to Barrage, please say hi. Let me know you're watching my channel as I try to promote history in both wargaming and in museums and donations and awareness. Thank you. Stay safe. Be kind. Be courteous. Thank you, everyone.